Abdullah, Afnan, Aishwarya, even though you are not the co-host, you can start speaking when the time comes.
Okay, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Arindulal.
Yeah, good evening.
കേൾക്കാമോ?
കേൾക്കാം. ആരാണെന്ന് മനസ്സിലായില്ല.
Dr. Venugopal, അമേരിക്കയിൽ നിന്ന്.
Yeah. Welcome, Dr. Venugopal. Long time.
Right.
Yeah.
ഇന്നത്തെ ടോപ്പിക് വളരെ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റിംഗ് ആയതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഞാൻ ഇതിലോട്ട് കയറുന്നത്.
ഇതിനു മുമ്പുള്ള ടോപ്പിക് അത്ര ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റിംഗ് അല്ലായിരുന്നു.
ചില ടോപ്പിക് എല്ലാം എനിക്ക് ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റിംഗ് അല്ല.
Okay. Arvind, Amrita,
Yes,
start.
sir.
You can start, please.
Yes, sir. A warm good evening to all. Before we begin, a few instructions. All the participants are requested to turn off your mic and camera throughout the session. After the speakers talk, we'll be having a Q&A session. So please feel free to post your queries in the chat box. We'll be addressing them in the Q&A session. Towards the end of the session, a feedback form link will be provided. Kindly fill the form. You can also mention your requirements for the participation certificate as well as your recording in the same. So beginning, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. Yes, our attitude towards the life determines life's attitude towards us. A warm good evening to all present here. I am indeed privileged to welcome all of you to the 74th Inter-Society Weekly Webinar Series talk. This talk is jointly organized by IEEE Kerala Section, Institution of Engineers India Kerala State Center, Computer Society of India Trivandrum Chapter, Project Management Institute Kerala Chapter, Internet Society Trivandrum Chapter, Makka Maulavi Foundation Trust Trivandrum, Life Member Affinity Group IEEE Kerala Section, IEEE Engineering in Medicine and Biology Kerala Chapter, and the Institute of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering. So today we have with us Dr. A. Nirmala Ma'am, Principal and Child Psychologist, Shanti Niketan Senior Secondary School, Trivandrum. Ma'am will be giving us a keynote on how to develop positive attitude in students. Positive thinking evoke more energy, leading to determination and hard work, ultimately translating to success. Ma'am, we are all keen to hear from you. So moving on, I call upon Ms. Adla to deliver the welcome note.
Thank you, Amrita. Am I audible?
Yes.
Good evening to one and all present here. Today, we are in the 74th talk of Inter-Society Weekly Webinar Series. Our attitude towards life determines life's attitude towards us. And also, for success, attitude is equally important as ability. Today, I'm highly honored to welcome our chief guest, Dr. Nirmala A., Principal and Child Psychologist at Shanti Niketan School. Welcome, ma'am. Then, with most pleasure, I welcome Dr. Harendralal Sir, Chair of Indus Society, for conducting the previous 73 talks. Then, I welcome our MC of the day, Miss Amrita Aravind. Then, our Zoom Master, Miss Sumeya, and Speaker Introducer, Miss Afnan Shihab and Miss Aishwarya. Last, I welcome all the attendees present here who is eagerly waiting for the talk. I wishing you a nice evening. Be yourself and you can be anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Adla. Now I welcome Afnan for the introduction to speaker.
Thank you, Amrita. It is with great honor I introduce today's esteemed speaker, Dr. Nirmala A. Dr. A. Nirmala has been a compassionate advocate for holistic pedagogy all her life. She holds a doctoral degree in child psychology, and her doctoral thesis focused on creative thinking in preschool children. After having served as the head of an educational institution for over a decade, she established Shanti Niketan School with a clear vision in mind. Over the years, she has been able to actualize that vision with her organizational acumen, sound scholarship, and compassion. As a gifted child psychologist, she has been a mentor to thousands of students and parents. She has written numerous articles for leading newspapers and magazines and is regularly invited to appear on TV shows that discuss child development and our educational system. We are indeed honored to have you as the speaker for today's session, ma'am. Without further ado, I invite you, ma'am, to take over the session. On to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, good evening, everybody. First of all, I must thank Dr. Harendralal sir for inviting me to this interactive session. Shall I begin, sir? Am I audible to you?
Yeah, please go ahead, Dr. Nirmala. Now you can start sharing your, yeah, thank you.
The topic is how to build a positive attitude to students. Positive attitude changes everything. What is a positive attitude? It's a learned tendency to respond to people and objects in a positive way. Most of our attitudes are shaped during our formative years. That is, we must remember that from 0 to 7 years, it's a very important years. 75% of our IQ develops during this period. The attitude formation factors. The 3 factors that determine our attitude formation, the triple E's of attitudes, are environment, experience, and education. Factors affecting environment. And home. If in the home, if we have a good relationship among the parents, that means if we sufficient love and support and caring is enough at home, they will develop definitely a positive attitude. In the school also, in the school, in some schools they provide only formal education. If the education includes interactive sessions, group activities, definitely there also they will get a positive attitude. Then regarding media, during television programs, we unconsciously sometimes we will have a tendency to watch negative serials. If we go on watching negative serials also, it's not good for our mind. So what we have to do, we have to select the TV programs. Naturally, definitely we have to select good programs for watching. Then the cultural program, the cultural background, then the religious background, then social background also affects the positive attitude towards the children. Then comes the experience, the second E, that is behavior changes according to our experience with various people. If we have a positive attitude experience with a person, our attitude towards him is likely to be positive. And conversely, negative experiences tend to make us cautious. That means while dealing with the children, if the mother is very happy, definitely the baby will be having a positive attitude towards the mother. Then love and affection will be there. But if the during the childhood years, we have to remember that children will be asking so many questions. They are very curious. So if the mother is not at all happy or she is not willing to give good responses, there won't be any positive attitude. Then regarding education. Education refers to both formal and informal education. The role of the educator is vital. The education ought to teach us not only how to make a living, but also how to live. Bookish knowledge is not important. Children learn through imitation. So it is very important that to cultivate a positive attitude in children, we ourselves have to develop a positive attitude. That is very, very important. It is very easy to tell somebody that we have to develop. But if we don't have a positive attitude within us, then we won't be able to develop positive attitudes towards children. So that moreover, I to mention that the importance of imitation. In the younger age, the children have to have a tendency to imitate their loved ones, especially their parents. And when they go to school, they will have a tendency to imitate their teachers. So if we are maintaining a positive mood, naturally, unconsciously, the children will be imitating us. Then they will also develop a positive attitude. Then the benefits of positive attitude. It reduces stress. Then inspires others around you. That means if we are very happy and if we have a pleasing personality, naturally other people will be coming and they will interact with us. But if we are not in a good mood, naturally the other people won't be coming to us. Moreover, it is energizing. It makes up a pleasing personality, then increases your enjoyment of life, helps you become a contributing member of society and had an asset to our country. Then steps towards an attitude change. Start looking. We have a tendency to start looking for what is right in a person or situation instead of for what is wrong. As parents and teachers, most of us are attuned to finding fault and looking forward for what is wrong with the child. While as a guru, almost all the teachers, while discussing these factors among the teachers, they will say, ma'am, we have to point out the mistakes. It's true that we have to point out the mistakes, but we have to appreciate their good qualities also. Too much criticism will not be useful for the children. They'll be getting bored. Moreover, they won't develop a positive attitude towards their teachers also. So what we have to, I'm not telling that we must not criticize and we must not point out negative mistakes, but we have to, then we have to find out the positive aspects of the child and appreciate them. Then they will have a tendency to repeat that positive activity, and then it will become a habit. That means, what is a habit? It is a repeated action. So if we appreciate a positive aspect, then naturally they will repeat that activity and naturally it become a habit. Then be an optimist. Be strong and nothing can disturb your peace of mind. Talk about good health, happiness and prosperity to everyone we meet. Make it a habit of positive talk. Then look at the sunny side of everything. Think only the best. Work only for the best. Expect only the best. Then give everyone a smile. We will. Some parents and teachers have a tendency to criticize the children too much by that, and so by criticizing them verbally, naturally their emotional expression also won't be nice. Yes, true, we have to criticize and rectify their mistakes that I told you previously, but we have to avoid too much criticism. Then, bus, when we see bus, what we have to keep in your mind? Believe in yourself. That I will detailedly tell the next coming session. You unlearning old or redundant ways of unwanted thoughts. That unwanted thoughts, throw the unwanted thoughts in the dustbin. Then yes, Yes, smart, act smartly. Learning to work smart instead of simply working hard. I will explain. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Auto suggestion. We used to tell the students, believe in yourself. Early in the morning, what you have to do, stay in front of the mirror and keep on telling to yourself that I'm a good boy, I'm a good girl. We used to tell the children like that. Even though we are old, every day we must. In front of the children, in front of the mirror, we have to say, I'm a good person. Today will be a good day for me. That means auto suggestion is very, very important. Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow, says, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, he can achieve. It's very, very important. In ancient India, gurus asked the students to make a sankalpa. In Sanskrit, this means an idea or notion formed in the heart or mind. It is how our turn to take a sankalpa to, now it's our turn to take a sankalpa to perform. That means in the sankalpa, in our mind, we have to tell, I'm a good person. I can create positive thinking in others. I'm a very good person. So nobody is perfect, that we can understand. But even then, accept our limitations and try to go beyond them. Then unlearn. Unlearn means break the repetitive cycle of mistakes that we may be making. For example, if we wish to make something new, that means in English, while writing English sentences, what we used to do, the script is from left to right. But for when we learn Urdu, it's entirely different. So in order to learn Urdu language, what we have to do, we have to write from right to left. In short, what I meant is that sometimes we have to unlearn our previous learned things. In other words, we can sometimes some unwanted thoughts will be coming into our mind while learning new things. What we have to do, start a fresh page. To a certain extent, we almost need to unlearn the instinctive urge to write from that's the previous English part. Then smart. Motivate the children to behave and work smartly. Teachers and parents always advise the students to study hard, work hard, but they really don't tell them how. Act smartly, then we will be able to achieve everything. Give clear-cut instructions to children so that we will be able to finish their work smartly. Smartly, when I was talking to this session was smartly, I remember a story of a king that you'll be knowing the story. A king has 3 sons, but he was in a confused state who will be to select the successor. So what he did, he told the 3 sons, I will give 2 days also to fill a room, empty room with full of a thing that that there should not be any space in the rooms. So the elder one, what he did, he filled the room with the big stones. The second, but unfortunately there were gaps, so he was not selected. The second one, what he did, he filled the room with full of hay, but that was also that person was also not selected. The third one was he acted smartly. He filled the room with perfumes. Smell, full of smell was there. So the king selected the third person. That means we have to think and act smartly in some ways. Working smart means in a manner that I told you previously, that we have to give clear-cut instructions to the students how they have to work smart. That means in order to perform well in their studies, they have to organize in an efficient way. That means they have to organize your assignments in order to last-minute pressure should be avoided. They have to organize things. That means what we have to do, we have to list out the things what we have to do, then prioritize the things according to the importance, cross-cut the things that we have already finished. Like that we have to do. The organization should be there in doing things. Then efficient. Use your time in a way that promote maximum learning in minimum time. Then effective. Organization efficiency lead to better learning and score high. In short, we have to act smartly. Then, regarding the time, everybody, every students and parents, every time they are complaining about the time. So there was not, whenever we ask something about inefficiency of our any related things, they will say, I didn't get enough time. For writing exams also, they will say, so the time was not enough. So according to me, 24, we are getting 24 hours a day, everybody. But if we are able to manage the 24 hours effectively, we will be able to achieve everything. So time management is very, very important. So what are the different types of time? We have institutional time, personal time, study time, extracurricular time, social time, and black hole time. What is institutional time? Institutional time, the child spent inside the time they spent in the school or in class. The personal time, time required for eating, sleeping, and etc. Study time, time required for homework. Then extracurricular time, time for hobbies, reading, reading, TV watching, etc. Then social time, spend some time with family and friends. Black hole time. This is, we have to give importance to this black hole time. Black hole time means non-productive time spent by browsing, watching TV, playing video games. So in short, what we have to do, every time we will be doing some activities, we have to look at our clock and spend specific time, prepare timetable for, even though sometimes when we mention about timetable, we will be thinking that only in school we are following timetable, but it's not like that. In our daily timetable, even though we are not working in an office, we have to maintain a timetable. That, so that we will be every now and then, even though in the beginning I mentioned that if we have to maintain a positive, develop a positive attitude among children, first we have to maintain a positive, positive attitude within ourselves. Like that, if we are able to, if we want to tell the quality or discuss about quality time for the children, first we have to maintain and we have to show as an example how to prepare timetable, and we have to follow according to the timetable. It is true that sometimes we won't, even though we prepare, after preparing timetable, we won't be able to strictly work according to the time like a machine. But even then, we will be able to evaluate yourself also after preparing timetable and time slot. What we can do at the end of the day, what you can just start a diary, writing diary also. That will helpful for us, so that we'll be able to analyze ourselves, evaluate ourselves, that we were able to follow the timetable. If we are not able to follow the timetable according to the timetable we prepared, what we can do, we can change the timetable. Then comes goals. Goals. For setting goals, we have to help the children in setting goals, because teach them to maintain a positive attitude throughout the time. Goals must be sensible, it should be precise. That means sometimes the parents have a tendency to set up goals for children, but that the efficiency of the children, there should be a relationship between the efficiency and the goal. The child is we are not 100% intelligent, makkal won't be there. We must not compare children with others also. But after that, but before setting goals, what we have to do, we have to the relationship between the intelligence and the efficiency, there should be some relationship. That it should be certain, the goal should be certifiable, should be rewarding, it should be pertinent. Then SMART goal. What is a SMART goal? Plan well in order to achieve a goal. Prepare plan, monthly plan, weekly plan. As teachers, we used to prepare before a year starting. What we used to do, we'll be planning, prepare my year plan, monthly plan, weekly plan. Even though not only teachers, other professionals also prepare plan. Like that, we have to prepare plan for the children. First, what we have to do, ask the children to prepare their own plan according to their interest. But they are not old enough to set a good plan. For what we have to do, we have to help them. So what's a SMART goal? The goal should be specific, measurable, then achievable, then realistic, then it should be time bound also. Why goals are important? Goals give us give a sense of direction. Goals are dreams with a deadline and action plan. Goals can be worthy or unworthy. Goals must be balanced. Our life is like a wheel of 6 spokes. That means family, financial, physical, mental, social, and spiritual. That means what we have to keep it in our mind, that this all should be balanced. The family, if, for example, if we are setting a goal, for our financial facility is not very low, then we won't be able to go. If our goal is to attain a degree from a higher university, if our financial background is not poor for a student, it is not wise for the parent to set a goal like that. Like that, physical and mental, social and spiritual factors also should be considered for a goal setting. Then dreams and desire. Do not confuse goals with dreams and wishes. Dreams and wishes are nothing more than desire. Desires are weak. Desires become strong when they are supported by direction, dedication, determination, discipline, and deadlines. So that means while setting goal also, we have to see that the specific direction should be there, the dedication from the part of the child should be asserted, determination will be there, should be there, discipline and deadline time limit should also be there. Then count blessings, not troubles. We have a tendency to count every time. We have a tendency to find the negative things in us also. Some people have a tendency to tell every time complaining to their friends. It is not good. That means take time to smell others. Enjoy every moment of your life. Sometimes we'll be in our home itself, there'll be positive things, but some parents have a tendency to ignore the positive aspects of the children, and what they will do, they'll be comparing them with the other children. Sometimes their children will be having extra amount of energy in writing, then but the tendency of the parent will be comparing the child with the the neighborhood. That is not good. Moreover, we have to take time to smell the flowers, means we enjoy the day, enjoy the positive things that the God has given to us. Enjoy every day. Then in order to develop a positive attitude among us, what we have to do, we have to acquire knowledge. Every time we have to read books. It cultivates a strength, because we in the daily life we will be eating every morning and afternoon and night. Like that, we for the mental, we have to feed our mind also. That means we have to read plenty of books, then go through the internet and acquire knowledge that will develop self-discipline within us. Moreover, we have to develop a listening capacity also, then eagerness to learn. Even though we are old enough, sometimes we'll have a tendency to, we are old, so this our education period is over. We must not think like that. Every day we have to acquire knowledge, then only we will develop a confidence within us. Moreover, we have to discuss every daily activities among the news we have. While after going to the newspaper also, after reading books also, sometimes the parents will tell us that nowadays the children doesn't have a habit of reading books. They will remember that the children will be imitating the parents. If there's a parent, if we are not having the habit of reading books, then how will how can we blame the children? So what we have to do, set an example for our children. Then the scientific aspects, then the thinking. Our brains are like muscles. They can stretch and shrink. It all depends on how much or how little we exercise them. For example, it's like a rubber band. The inside the brain, the 3 computers are there. That's reptile brain, limbic brain, and neocortex brain. The reptilian brain is responsible for the lowest stratum of thoughts, such as hunger, breathing, etc. That means if we are hungry, when we are starving, it is the reptilian brain that rule, and our higher brain activity would be minimized. If sleepy, anxious or stressed, your ability to learn is severely impeded. That is why we used to tell the parents that before sending the children to home, they have to have good breakfast. So also nowadays they are having online classes. So what we have to do before sending them to the online classes, they see that the child is having their stomach is filled. Then limbic brain responsible for emotions, sexuality, and hormones. The associate our learning with emotions. Then if we associate our learning with emotion, it is very easy to memorize. You'll be able to memorize fastly. Limbic brain stores long-term memories. In our brain, there are two types of memories are there: short-term memory and long-term memory. So sometimes we will tell that I forget everything. Why? But if we associate psychologically, there is association of learning is there. If we associate something with the previous chapters, then we will be able to memorize long time. So long-term memory affects the limbic brain. Then the neocortex brain. The topmost and outermost layer is the cortex, manages intelligence, reasoning, logic, and language. These three computers in brain work together. When at a relaxed state, the interaction and exchange between them is at a peak. When stressed, the connectivity is hindered. That is why it's very, very important that before sending the children to the examination, we used to tell the parents that to give them plenty of water. Moreover, in the daily life also, in the school, we will tell the children to drink 12 glasses of water a day. So it will give us a positive energy. We are relaxed also, our thinking capacity will be, reasoning ability will be on the higher side. So every time we have to feel relaxed. Then the brain. The brain has trillions of brain cells. The cortical brain has around 100 billion neurons, and each is more formidable than a supercomputer. That is, each neuron is formidable than a supercomputer. Each neuron has the ability to make 20,000 connections with the neurons. These connections are called dendrites and axons. That means each neuron has the ability to make 20,000 connections with other neurons, and these connections are called dendrites and axons. That's dendrites and axons. When memorize new stuff or solve new puzzle, dendrites are created. Number of dendrites govern our intelligence. Einstein dendrites and ours have the same number of neurons. But what is the difference? But Einstein dendrites are far more numerous because their neuron has developed numerous number of dendrites is numerous in Einstein's brain. Dendrites, the important thing we have to remember is that dendrites can grow at any age. That means we can develop dendrites now. If we what we have to do, we have to stimulate our brain. Then if we read a lot, we give activities to the brain, then naturally the dendrites will develop. But if we give, if the brain is not activated, but if the brain is not stimulated, what will happen? It will deteriorate. The capacity, the activity of the brain will deteriorate. Moreover, the dendrites will disappear if not actively using our brain power. In short, your mind is like a parachute. If only it works when it is open. That means we have to exercise our brain regularly. That is, how can we give exercise to our brain? Give crossword puzzles, do Sudoku, word games, Rubik cubes, and mental calculators, memory that it always develop. It will promote the development of brain. So sometimes we can example also, if we have some fracture in our hand, what we will do, we'll be putting some plaster. After that, after the removal of the plaster, there will be that we won't be able to move that particular hand freely. So what we will do, we will be doing some exercises and then we will be able to move the hand freely. Like that, we have to give exercises to the brain. So if the child, when the child complains that I don't have intelligence, I won't be able to do work fast, then what you have to do, you can do a lot of work, but what you have to do, Einstein and you do have the same neurons. In order to develop more dendrites, what you have to do, you give stimulate your brain, you give exercise to your brain, then you will be able to do a lot of things. Can perform well in class. Then perform well in class, simultaneously what we will be developing a positive attitude among ourselves. That means if we are happy, we'll be able to develop a positive attitude among ourselves. Then be enthusiastic, be happy. Happiness is within us. We won't be able to purchase happiness from the shop. We won't be able to purchase happiness from the shop. That also we won't be able to purchase positive attitude from the shop. It is within us. We have to create within us. So what we have to do, we have to cultivate a happiness within ourselves. A person can and will be successful if we have 5 C's. What are the 5 C's? We have character, good character, commitment, conviction, courtesy, and courage. Then we will be able to cultivate happiness. Then comes the common sense, the most important sense. We are born with 5 senses: touch, taste, smell, and hearing. But successful people have a 6th sense, that is the common sense. What is the common sense? It is the ability to see things as they are and do them as ought to be done. The application of education and knowledge without common sense is meaningless. That means sometimes nowadays the parents won't allow the children to do some activities. In olden days, our parents will be asking, you will be giving some responsibility to us also. If only they are nowadays, I'm not blaming the parents. The parents will be what they are doing. They are thinking that let them. We will be doing the parents as parents. I will do everything for my child. So what is happening? It is there. It is there. What is happening there? By we are denying the developing common sense in the children. If they go on doing something, they will develop a common sense unknowingly. That means sharpen your axe. What sharpen your axe means, what you have to every time you have to. Previous time I told you that we have to acquire knowledge. Acquiring knowledge. Mere acquiring knowledge is not enough. We have to sharpen the axe, means we have to sharpen our knowledge also. We have to search in the environment, acquire new knowledge. We have to update our knowledge, feed our mind. That means the same thing. Then build a positive self-esteem. Self-esteem is the way we feel about ourselves. If we feel good within, our performances goes up and our relationships improve both at home and school. If we are not happy with ourselves, we won't be in a good mood. Our self-esteem will be on the lower side. This is because there's a direct correlation between our feelings and behavior. That means, in short, if we are very happy, we'll be able to perform well, and simultaneously we'll be having a positive self-esteem. But if we don't have a negative, we are not in a good mood, in a position, we are thinking that negative things about ourselves, then we won't be able to positive. That is a positive self-esteem. That means, why I am telling about that we must not criticize. Too many criticism is negative for the children. If the parents are telling you are good for nothing, you are now your performance is poor, that the manager is telling you constantly, repeatedly, that your performance is not good, then unconsciously you will develop a negative self-esteem. So that is why, but what we have to do, we have to tell them in a polite way that you are good at these things, but you have to develop these things, improve in this area also. That way we have to deal with the converse with the employees. Then stay away from the negative influences. And negative people drag you down. That means sometimes some people in everyday life also will be feeling this, because some people, after visiting some people, they will be discussing only negative things. So after interacting with, they will what will happen, they will drain our energy. So what you have to do, try to avoid these people. So evaluate yourself after interacting with the particular person, what happened, our energy has drained. So what you have to do, stay away from these people. Moreover, some people have a tendency to gossip of others also. That also tell them in a very, it's not possible for some people to tell directly to them. But even then, according to me, you must tell them directly that gossip is not a good habit. We are not getting any benefits from them. So instead of gossiping, what you have to do, tell them politely to the particular person straightly that it's this behavior is not good. We have to change. Like also in our daily family way also there will be some people, some behavior, for example, among the children and husband and wife also, some negative behavior will be there. What we have to do, first we have to point out the positive aspects, then we have to tell them the negative aspects, then they will be able to accept. Then a person's character is not only judged by the company they keep, but also the company they avoid also. Then avoid negative movies and television programs. In the beginning, I have mentioned some series. They have only the content is very negative. So the program, the TV, after watching the negative serials, unconsciously we will be developing the negative content. For example, I will tell about the positive content. If we are going to a temple or a church, after visiting that place, we will be having a positive energy from them. Is it so? Like that, we will be getting positive energy if we are dealing or watching a positive program. So what we have to do, try to avoid negative TV programs. Then learn to like the things that we need to be done. The picture that see that the mother is having 2 children. It's very difficult to look after the children. So sometimes some parents will have a tendency to complain, oh, I am having hectic time, it's very difficult to look after the children. But it is not the correct way. What we have to do, we have to love, even though it is that is start by doing what is necessary, then what is possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. For example, mothers caring for the young. This may not be easy, but what we have to do, if we learn the task, then it is possible. It is possible to like the duty. In short, what we have to do, even though we have to do a lot of work, don't complain about the work. Do it happily. Then only we will be able to achieve happiness from the work. For that, what we have to do, we have to organize our work schedule, time management, prepare timetable, and do the work. Even though we are a housewife, even though we have, sometimes we will be thinking that you are a housewife and you are you don't have much work to do, but it's not like that. What we have to do, we have to systematize and plan very well, and plan well according to the time. Then we will be able to do the activities within the time limit. Then school also, the children will be complaining that they are not able to write the answers within the time limit. So we will tell the teachers, what is your duty? It is your duty to train the children to do the activities within the time limit. Like that, we have to play. We have to, like say, woman. If you are example, you are a parent with 2 children. If you are working also, you have a lot of work to do. What we have to do, we have to systematically plan our work, then within the time limit, and then you will be able to do the work within the time limit. I'm not telling you that it's very easy, but we have to happily do the work. If we go on complaining our work, lots of work I have to do, what will be the net effect? At the end of the day, we will be, every time we will be, our persons in the family will also learn this habit. That means this complaining habit they will imitate us. So stop complaining about others also. What we have to do, we will be developing a lots of dendrites like that, like I told you previously. You'll be able to do increase our intelligence. Then start our day with something positive. After a after a good night's sleep, we are relaxed and our subconscious mind is receptive. It sets a tone for the day and puts in the right frame of mind to make the day a positive one. Read or listen to something positive in the morning. That is why in the family group, we used to do, in friends group also, we'll be sending morning messages. So some people will tell it's a waste of time, but it is not like that. It's very good. In order to bring about the change, we need to make a conscious effort and be committed to make positive thoughts and behavior. Practice positive thoughts and behavior daily until that become a habit. In the morning we'll be very free, so what we have to do, I spend at least 1 minute for the positive thought. Learn from that positive thoughts. Summary: look for the positive, make it a habit of doing now. That means sometimes we have a tendency to postpone things. It's not at all a good habit. Every time what we have to do, if we are able to do some things now itself, then do it now. No need to please don't postpone things. Then develop an attitude of gratitude and create a continuous reading program for yourself. Then build a positive self-esteem. Then stay away from negative influences. Then learn to like things that need to be done. Love the things. Love your daily routine. William James of Harvard University said, if you are going to change your life, you need to start immediately. So please do start. Your mind is a powerful thing. When you fill it with positive thoughts, your life will start to change. So I hope you will be able to change your mind. You will start changing your life today itself, so that you will be able to create a positive mentality among yourself. So that's all. I hate doing presentation, but I love having an interactive session. So I hope we can now start interacting.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. It was indeed a great session, ma'am. So, ma'am, we are having some queries in the chat box. So, may I read it for you?
Yes, please do.
Ma'am, first question. What is the difference between efficiency and effectiveness?
Efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency means the particular person's efficiency, the ability of the particular person. If effectiveness is not like that, it is different. For example, we think that we are working in an office. The boss give us a goal. So the goal, if the goal is achieved, only the other person will be able to tell us it is effectively done. The efficiency is within the person. The effectiveness will be decided by the other person. Hope it is clear.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, next question. Ma'am, sharpening our eggs. What do you mean, skilling or upskilling?
No, axe means, I will tell a story. One time there was two persons were there. They were working in a same office, but one person's A and B's salary was going on increasing year by year. But A's salary was, even though they joined on the same day, it was not increasing. So the person A went to the boss and asked, why? What is the reason? Tell me, can you tell me? You are not at all increasing my salary. Then the person goes ask the person, why have you checked your efficiency, your effectiveness? That means, as I told you in the beginning, we have to sharpen your, that means we have to increase our efficiency. How can we increase our efficiency in a particular work? Sometimes we have to read a lot, or we have to acquire new knowledge. That means we have to sharpen our axe in that sense only. That means we have to modify our behavior every now and then. Sometimes as we are getting older, we have a tendency to go on telling others, I am old enough, I won't be able to change. It is not like that. You can change your efficiency and modify your behavior at any age. It depends upon the you. Actually, we will be having limitations. Sometimes some people have a tendency, if sometimes somebody point out your mistakes, they will be totally depressed. It is not like that. We have to accept our limitations and try to go beyond them. Nowadays, some parents will be over pampering the children. In that case also, it will come.
Okay, ma'am. Next question. Ma'am, digital gadgets are now become an inevitable part of children,
Yeah.
leading to kind of addiction, taking all time from them.
Yeah.
How can parents gracefully save their children from this?
Yeah, in the discussion, I have clearly pointed out the different types of time. Like that, what we have to do, we call the child and have an open discussion with the child. Regarding everybody is getting 24 hours a day. I am not at all blaming you. Now, in the previous years, we used to tell the children not to use mobile, but nowadays, what we are forced to give the mobiles. For that, we must not tell the child that they should not play games in mobile games and all that. But what we have to do, limit the time, put a timetable for every child. For the that way also, we have to set an example for the child also. If some parents, what they will do, they will go on chat with the child and use mobile games, but in front of the children. That's not fair. So we must set an example for the children. So in order to stop the children from doing games, slowly but strictly but sternly, we have to tell the child it's not good. We are giving mobile, study time is there, your working time is there. So if, for example, 1 hour, depending upon the age, half an hour is enough for you to play with the mobiles. Otherwise, you have to stop. Some parents will tell they won't obey. It's not like that. You are a parent. You do have the caliber and ability. You use the children to control the, you do use your ability to control the child. By raising your voice and looking at the eyes, we can control the child. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Next question. How to build courage in a child?
Yeah. So sometimes it 50% hereditary and 50% environment. 50, but we should not tell the child that is 50% hereditary. So what we have to do, we encourage the children. The 3 A's of happiness are there: affection, achievement, and acceptance. What we have to do, we have to accept our child. Before so small achievement also, you praise the child. You are very good. So also sometimes the child is very reluctant to give for the, in our school day, in Shantiniketan, what we used to do, we will give select speakers, start giving select speakers from the play section onwards. We'll put a stool and ask the child to stand in top of the stool and tell a speech. Sometimes that also, in that case also, some parents will have a tendency, please don't expect 10% perfection from the children. They won't be able to do the activity with full, correctly. So some mistakes will be there, nothing to worry at all. Praise them and accept them and pat them and give, show your love. Give them kisses and huggings also, so they will be happy. So you tell them that I am very happy. It's not perfect, but even then I am very happy that you did like this. You are my child. Like that, we have to express our love, hugging and kissing. Even though they are old teenagers, please do give them plenty of hugs and kisses.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, next question. Ma'am, can you please explain the role of moral?
Role of?
Moral values, I think.
Moral values. That also we won't be able to purchase from the shop this moral. What we have to do, we have to inculcate, develop. For that, what we have to do, we can, from the young age itself, we can give them moral stories, read the moral stories. The higher stage also, sometimes some bad news will be there in the TV. What we have to do, some parents will have a tendency to switch off the TV. It's not fair. But what we can do, discuss openly with the children the morality about that particular incident. So set an example for the children also, so that the conclusion, so open, try to have open discussion among the dinner tables. So slowly we will be able to develop. Like otherwise, like a lesson, we won't be able to. Moreover, nowadays in the school session, the moral period is there, moral value period is there. But what we don't have test papers for moral science. So what the parents do, they won't ask the child to, they will ask them to neglect that particular book. It is not fair. It is a very good topic. We have to ask the children to read good stories. If the child is not reluctant to read moral stories, what we can do, we can read moral stories and discuss among the family. See.
Okay, ma'am. My next question. Ma'am, why most of the schools kill creativity of children?
Yeah, what is creative, that depends upon the parents also. If we are before sending the children to school, what the parent has to do, they have to inquire about the school. If the parents, sometimes the schools are concerned only about the marks, then what we can do, please, we must not blame the schools. As a principal, I must not blame others. What we can do, in our home itself, we can improve creativity. We can ask the child to write a daily diary. That will improve their creativity. So painting and everything, we can ask the children to do. If the child is interested in painting, dancing, extracurricular activities, we can promote at home.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, next question. Attitude of gratitude. Please explore it a bit more for its source and cultivation.
Yeah, so I told you this is why imitation, learning by imitation. So if we should be gratitude for our to God for everything. But now say thank you simply. I can explain. So after in our daily life, in our Indian culture, we won't thank our parents. Am I right? For some breakfast and everything. But when we go outside India, we'll be feeling that every time. So we have to feel gratitude towards others. But we say thank you for everything, small things. We have to respect others, give respect and take respect. So also in some nowadays, what we used to have, some parents will have a tendency to criticize their teachers. Now online classes are there in front of others. Then if we are criticizing negatively in front of the children, how can they develop gratitude towards their teachers? It is not good. So what we have to do, we have to develop, in order to develop gratitude, what we have to do, we have to develop within the from home itself. We must say thank you to small things. It's a make it a habit. Don't think though, as it is the mother or the father, we must not say thank you. We must say thank you. So also, even though we are all parents also, as parents, if some the children are doing some good things for us, tell them we are very happy for this thing.
Okay, ma'am. I think last question.
Yeah.
Ma'am, why a child start telling lies? How can we stop them?
So that is very important question. So if the child is the age is very important. So then the second at the age of 2 and 3, the child, according to Freud, there's a personal stages are there. The imagination stage. In the imagination stage, what they're imagining, they are not lying. The children will be telling on the way. Nowadays, our school children will say, "Auntie, on the way I fired a lion." It is not. They are not lying. They are imagining. Like that, sometimes in the small section, we must not blame the children. That they are lying. So you, after reading stories and seeing in movies, they will have a tendency to imitate their heroes. Like that, they will be telling. But if it is the ages on 6 or 8 or 9 and 10, but then what you have to do? Sometimes the expectation of the parent is on the higher side. So after getting marks, they will say from the school, the child have a tendency to lie. The top scorer was on the lower side, they will say. But it is, so what is happening there? Why they are telling like that? Sometimes we will unnecessarily scold the child. So that is why they are lying. So first what we have to do, we have to find the root cause why they are lying this samskar. Tell them, drink plenty of water and ask the child, I know you are a very good child, but this is not true. Can you tell me the reason? Like that. So sometimes if we are angry, we are expect some punishment then from the parent, then they will lie. They will say, we will be getting punishment. So it's better to lie. In that case, they will be lying. So what we have to do, have an open discussion with the child. If we are not in a position to have an open discussion with the child, what the parent can do, write a letter to the child. More or more, I'm very happy, I very love you so much, but I was so much disappointed with this your behavior. Can you tell me? Can you explain? Please don't repeat this, like that.
Thank you, ma'am. That was the last question. And thank you so much for spending your valuable time with us. Now, moving on to the session, I call upon Ms. Aishwarya to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Amrita. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. By this, we are hoping to conclude our session for today. Thank you all for attending the 74th talk of the Inter-Society Weekly Webinar Series. I first off would like to thank Harindra Lal Sir, Chairman and Organizer of the Inter-Society Weekly Webinar Series, for successfully conducting the previous 73 talk sessions. Next, I would also like to express my gratitude to our guest speaker, Dr. Nirmala A, for delivering such a wonderful and informative session, and also for answering the queries regarding the same. Thank you, ma'am. And I would also like to thank all the organizations involved in our initiative for their continuous support. Lastly, I would also like to thank our Zoom master, Ms. Sumaya K. Ashrafuddin, our MC for the day, Ms. Amrita Aravind, Ms. Adla T. Bashir for delivering the welcome speech, and Ms. Afnan Shihab for giving the introduction to the speaker. Thank you, team, for your joint efforts. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the attendees present here for your kind cooperation. Thank you all. Over to the MC.
Okay, Shwedya. So that was the end of our session. We presented a virtual memento as a token of love from our side to ma'am. So thank you so much, ma'am, for attending and conveying such a beautiful message to all of us. Before ending the session, I hand over the session to Harindra Lal sir. So this is the poster of our next talk. It will be based on 5G cellular networks and overview. It will be presented by Professor Lilikuti Jacob sir. So hope to see all of you in the next session. Before leaving, I hand over the session to Harindra Lal sir. Harindra Lal sir.
Good evening to you all. Thank you, Dr. Nirmala. A very good session, especially your interactive session. Thank you very much for the time you have taken to give us a great time for us. Most of them are on the grandfathers. They may be able to guide their grandchildren using your tips. Thank you all the participants. Thank you for the time. Look forward to you for the next session. 5G cellular networks and overview. Professor Lilikuti Jacob of the NIT Calicut will be delivering a talk. Expecting your continued support for the future too. Once again, thank you. Have a great time. We are winding up the session.
May I ask you a question?
Yeah, Oman Marvis, come on.
Yes, you should have asked us questions because some of us are not so good at hosting the questions. So I would have appreciated had it been a direct interactive session. Anyway, well, my question is, I'm a language trainer. So I do not know much about the psycholinguistics. I mean, Probably, I don't know, really, I don't know much about that. People, say a lot about psycholinguistics. So how do you think that that particular area will help a student to master the language? What do you think of it? Your personal opinion, that's what I want.
Psycholinguistics, the aware about like psycholinguistics will be beneficial for the children, to help the children to acquire knowledge. But I am not telling you that it's a must to know
That's
about
right.
psycholinguistics
Well,
in order to acquire another knowledge.
we are not educated on those lines, so we are at a loss to tell them exactly what the psychology. There are many people make a big hue and cry about that.
Linguistics experts, Dr. Shyamala is there.
Yeah. Okay, that is my question. So thank you. However, it was very informative. Thank you for being with us. Thank you.
Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, Sumaya, you may close the session. Have a great time. See you next week, same time. Yeah, another great talk.